Anthony from Vice, Assistant Chief Patty Cantu, and Commander Megan Howard with our Tactical Operations Division. So just to give you an update on what you see behind us, last night we were made aware of a kidnapping call that was called in, and our Homicide Division worked through the night getting information on a possible location of where the kidnapping victim would be all through the night, and this morning we were able to get a search warrant for a house behind us here in the 12200 block of Chessington. And in the process of, we had our tactical operations team, SWAT, go in and execute the search warrant. And when they got inside the house, they realized that this is actually going to turn into a human smuggling investigation. So that part of it will be handled by the HSI investigators that are on scene now. But we do have some of our criminal division representatives here from Homicide, Major Assaults and Family Victims, Special Victims Division, and Vice Division. When we got into the house, we realized that there were over 90 people inside. And so we immediately began to assess any kind of a special threat after that. Once we isolated that, we wanted to make sure we rendered any kind of a medical care. So we had HFD with us. We are concerned that there may be some positive COVID cases inside the house. So we do have our health department en route. They will do some rapid testing for that. So we will keep them in the house for now, and they begin to do their investigation. So that's our first concern. And then at some point, once we figure out how many positive COVID cases we have, we may have to quarantine. And we will turn it over to HSI to do the actual investigative part of it, and we'll assist in any way we can. And that's really all I have right now. I could open up for questions if you have any, as much as I can answer. Well, we are in a pandemic, and we do have some people in the house that are symptomatic, right? So we've already had some people in the house tell us they're not able to smell and not able to taste, and we did have some people with fever. So we've got the health department going to do some rapid testing and kind of take it from there.
How many women and how many men? Children anywhere?
No, there's no children inside. Youngest is probably early 20s. And as of right now, I think we have approximately 5 females and the rest are males.
Is it closer to 90 or closer to 100?
No, it's closer to 90.
To 90.
I'm guessing 91, somewhere around there.
You said it was a kidnapping case. Was this something that, were you imagining somebody, this many people inside?
Absolutely not. No, it was a big surprise when we got in the house and saw what we saw.
So who made the call?
When with as far as the homicide? As far as the kidnapping?
Yeah.
Last night we were called to a location and given some tips, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But we worked through the night to try to figure out exactly where they were, which led us to this address, and we had some pretty good information that they were here.
Can you paint the picture on how 90 people are in a house? What did you guys see? How do you put 90 people in the house?
Well, you put them all together in a room and in 2 separate parts of the house, upstairs and downstairs. It's a 2-story house. So they basically are in there in their basic clothing and all huddled together. So that's what we saw when we got in.
Were they tied up at all or anything
No,
like that?
no,
Or
sir.
they were just sitting next to each other?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
huddled up?
Would it be a family member that contacted you thinking that someone from their family was kidnapped?
That's what we believe. Yeah, that's what we.
A family member outside of this house that called.
Correct. That's what we believe. Correct.
Were they being fed?
We're still trying to
Did they
work
have
through all
food?
that. I'm sorry.
Did they have food and everything in there? Or what was the story there?
We've actually got them some food. We brought them some food and got them some water.
Were they being treated or given water and food?
They said they haven't eaten in a while.
Have
We're,
neighbors called?
we're feeding them.
Have neighbors called on it? Or any phone?
We haven't heard anything from any of the neighbors as far as anything that would lead them to believe that there was something like that going on. It's very surprising.
So I'm sure next in the investigation is trying to figure out who owns this home, right? And who brought these people here. Can you talk a little
Absolutely.
bit about that?
We don't know any of that yet. We're working through that.
Any individual arrested, maybe a coyote arrested?
Well, that's what we're working through. We got to separate who the victims are versus who, as you can imagine, somebody that would be involved with something like this, as soon as they realize we're here, they're probably going to try to become a part of them, right? And so we've got to be able to identify, and that's what we're doing now, identifying.
Firearms, usually in this situation, someone has a firearm.
I have no knowledge of any firearms being recovered or anything.
Could you talk a little bit about the process and what you guys do next to try and figure out where these people came from and where they go?
Well,
after
that's
this, I
where
guess?
HSI is going to come in.
Okay.
Yeah. First thing first, we want to make sure if we do have any positive COVID cases, we treat that and make sure they get medical care and all that, and then we'll begin to start to identify and work through all the other stuff.
Was COVID the only medical concern that you guys saw in there?
That's all we could tell. Yeah, everybody else looked like, other than just some being symptomatic, fever, loss of smell, loss of taste. It didn't look like there were any serious injuries involved. So.
How many would you say are maybe percentage different?
I don't know. I don't know.
5, 8?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
What's the message to the community, especially right now when you see what's going on at the border? I'm sure that there's people out there that probably saw something that they didn't think it was
You know, we always ask the community, please, if you see something, say something. Call us, even if there's any doubt at all, just call us and let us begin an investigation and look into it. We all need to work together. That's something that Chief Finner has been really stressing to the community, not just on something like this, because this is obviously not something we see often, but it is disturbing. In situations where we have violent crime, our focus is to get violent crime down, and we need the help for the community. We need the community to be able to speak with us and work with us to resolve incidents, this included. So,
In your experience, what typically happens in situations like this? If you guys don't catch this or apprehend, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they were going to parcel them off into some kind of doing some work or labor or something like that. But it's definitely more of a smuggling thing and not a trafficking thing.
What age is the
I would say, from what we could tell, it's probably upper 30s.
So where are those people now? Are they still here, or where do you guys relocate those people, the 90 people?
Well, that's what we're going to have to determine, and it's going to depend on what we're going to find out as far as who has COVID and who doesn't.
So they're still in.
Yes.
Chief, this is the fourth house. I mean, obviously not of this magnitude in the Southwest area in this year so far that you all have found. Why does it seem that it's isolated to the Southwest area that you're finding these, and what are you doing to go after them and abate them?
I really don't know what to tell you with that, because I'm not very experienced with that part of it, and I don't know, so I don't want to tell you anything wrong. But we could definitely follow up when we follow up on this, and on our side, working with the federal agency, that's something we can look into.
And the family that owns the house was saying that one male had rented the house. Do you have an ID, or do you have any idea of who you're looking for at this point in time?
They're working on that. I don't have any of that information. It wasn't bad, like you would think. I mean, it's all wooden flooring, so it didn't look like if you're talking about like they looked like they were going to the restroom and the floor and all that stuff. I didn't see any of that. Oh yeah, I didn't see any bedding. Well, I saw mattresses and stuff up on the wall. So.
But the house wasn't furnished.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't furnished. The house.
Not very well, no. And would any of y'all like anything in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Assistant Chief Cantu speaks better Spanish than I do.
Man, we got a girl uniform. Mi nombre es Patricia Cantú, asistente de jefe de la policía, del departamento de policía. Esta llamada comenzó anoche con una llamada que una familiar, una de sus familiares estaban secuestradas, y entonces de esa llamada han tomado, con esa llamada llamaron a la policía a nosotros para decirnos que de ese caso llamaron y hicieron una investigación que nos encontramos en esta casa. Nosotros podemos encontrar un orden de esculcar entonces podían entrar en la casa. Solamente al principio pensamos que iba a ser un rescate de una persona, pero cuando entraron habían más de 90 personas allí en esa casa. Esa casa es de 2 pisos y en el primer piso tenían varios, más de como 30, y en el segundo como unos 50. Las condiciones de esa casa fueron bien horribles, solamente porque los cuartos estaban bien chicos y estaban bien juntos. No había espacio para casi hacer nada, para solamente de sentarse. Con eso, entonces comenzaron con todas las investigaciones. Estamos todavía en el proceso. Esto va a ser un caso federal, claro que sí, porque nosotros no tenemos esa autoridad de los traficantes, porque ese va a ser un caso traficante. En hablar con las personas adentro, unos tienen más de 2 o 3 días de no comer nada, ni de beber agua. Entonces nosotros inmediatamente estamos dándole agua, la comida, y también estamos atendiendo al médico. El médico todavía está en el proceso y en este momento van a esperar un bus para que los transporte y hagan el proceso allá en el federal.
Cuéntame un poquito acerca de COVID, algo de COVID entre las personas.
Por eso, porque estamos todavía en la pandemia, todavía está recomendado que nosotros hacemos, si quisiera, aquí, pero con el federal dice, no importa porque ellos también lo van a hacer ya llegando allí. Pero había algunas personas que todavía estaban teniendo los síntomas, fiebre, lo regular y también la tos. Entonces nosotros estamos tomando precaución.
¿Algo más que quieran agregar? ¿Cuántas mujeres, cuántos hombres?
Hay como las 5 mujeres y los restos fue hombres. No había niños de lo que vimos, pero las condiciones eran horribles. Y para la gente les quiero decir que si ven algo así, yo sé que es riesgo, que quieren venir aquí para mejorar su familia, pero hay una cosa de llegar aquí bien y sana, pero hay gente que van a aprovechar de esta circunstancia. Entonces que los riesgos a veces no vale la pena porque aquí los tienen y la gente se va a tratar de aprovechar de las personas que no tienen. Gracias. Bueno. Are we good? All right. Are we done?
Love was crossing the border.